Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about amps that I would like to demo on the channel and I would like to own, and why, more importantly, I would like to own them. Now, I got asked a question the other day, what amps would you like to demo on the channel? So yeah, I thought I'd just talk to you guys about some amps that I haven't had on the channel that I really want to get on the channel, and amps that also I would like to own. And there are 6 amps. I mean, there were about 10 to be honest, just short of 10 originally, but I had to shrink it all down and make it into a smaller package for you guys. So let's talk about the amps first. So we'll start from this corner over here. That is the Engl Powerball 2, and there's a story behind this amp, Engl and myself, and I thought I'd just tell you guys it first. So basically, a long time ago, when basically YouTube demos first started ever happening, you know, for amps, I heard the Engl Powerball Mark 1 and it sounded great, and I decided to buy it. Now obviously Engl are made in Germany, I'm from the UK, so they're pretty easy to get hold of over here, especially at that time, because Engl had just come over here and they were actually in a lot of stores. They featured in a lot of stores around that time. They were just breaking big in the UK, so it was good timing. I got hold of an Engl Powerball Mark 1. It was actually a used head. There was a button on there that shifted the tone that was open and something else, I can't remember, it wasn't closed, but it was something like that, and one basically had more mids than the other. Now I took the Engl Powerball Mark 1 into a studio to record and also used it live quite a bit, and one thing I did notice is, although it sounded great to me when I was playing on it in the room, when it went in a mix live or on a stage or at rehearsal or in a mix in the studio, it just seemed to disappear and go quite thin in a loud mix. So I was a bit disappointed. Now I then moved on to the Engl Fireball 60, which also suffered from the same kind of thing. It felt great, sounded great, felt better, and sounded better than the actual Engl Powerball Mark 1. I gigged with the Engl Fireball 60 for many years, and I got more compliments on my tone whilst using the Engl Fireball 60 than I have on any other amp ever. However, when I went to record, same old thing, it suffered from the same problem: too compressed, not open enough, and basically got lost in live mixes, rehearsal mixes, and also when we went in the studio. So pretty disappointed. I actually ended up using an orange. I think I borrowed an orange and a 5150 to record that song, that track that we went in the studio for, because it just didn't sound big enough, the old Engl Fireball. Now at some point Engl changed their face plates, you know, to this black, and they started bringing out different versions, all Mark 2s basically, of their already existing amps. Now I don't know what they've done, maybe they've changed the power section in the amps or something like that, but whatever they've done, their amps are a lot more aggressive, a lot less compressed, a lot more thick, a lot bigger sounding, and a lot better in the mix. And it's not just me that says that, there's some producers too that loved Engl but struggled to get them where they wanted them to be in the mix. You know, they kind of were already compressed to a degree that you couldn't do much with the tone afterwards, whereas the newer ones you can do a lot with. They're a lot thicker, heavier, punchier and more aggressive. Since they changed all the faceplates to these blacked out faceplates, the Engl Powerball 2 sounds fantastic. I've used it once for a very brief moment and I was shocked. I almost didn't plug it in because I thought it would just be a revamped version, you know. I thought it was just basically the Engl Powerball 1 in a different colour, but when I plugged it in, it sounded fantastic and I absolutely loved that amp. It had plenty of mids, plenty of chunk, a very big, broad tone, and like I said, I didn't play it very long. I really want to get hold of one of those for the channel quite badly, and you know, I may even buy one day if I can get hold of one. So yeah, that's why I want the Powerball 2 on the channel. I like the first one, and if the Powerball 2 brings more power, more aggression, less compression, then that will work for me. And yeah, I like the sound of it in everything that I've heard online. So the next amp across here is a Mesa Badlander. Now this got a lot of stick online when it first came out. I don't really know why, because all the demos sounded really good to me. I could hear it sounding really attacking. Typical Mesa Boogie amp, sounded very clear, very tight, and it sounds great on every demo I've heard. I've heard Kyle Bull's demo, I've heard Ola's demo, I heard Fluff's demo. Ola's just done another demo a few days ago where there were 10 amps all together, and you had to kind of pick a winner type of thing, all through the same cab, the same mic. The Badlander was in there, and for me, that came up tops, that one for me. So yeah, really want to try that amp. The chances of me getting another Mesa are pretty slim. I owned a dual rectifier multi-watt, one of the best amps that I've ever used or ever bought in my entire life. The only issue was that I bought it new and it took me a year to pay the damn thing off. As soon as I paid it off, I actually sold it on because I found myself not using it at gigs. I was using a 6505 Plus a lot more, so I sold it on, and I regret doing that. I just thought, you know, what's the point of having £2 worth of amps sat around that you're not actually gigging with? There was a lot of switches on it and stuff, you know, like there always is on the Mesa amps, and I didn't want those. I just wanted to plug in and go. But yeah, it was a great amp, the multi-watt. Regret selling it, but I really want to try the Badlander because it sounds absolutely fantastic, and I really like the look of it too. It looks absolutely cool. Moving on, the next amp across here is a Victory Kraken 100 watt. Now, I don't know how many of you guys saw, but I actually got the smaller version of the Kraken on my channel, and I absolutely loved it. Really open, really aggressive, tons of different tones in there. You know, when you throw a boost in front, it could do the modern tight metal, but it also had this sag, but it wasn't a loose sag. It was a thick, chunky sag to it that I absolutely loved. A real fat bottom end to it. Absolutely fell in love with that amp. Didn't want to send it back. It was only a loan amp. Victory just lent me it. Thank you very much, Victory Amps. They just lent me it to use and to demo with. I had it for about 5 weeks, something like that, and I loved it. I wanted to keep it. I didn't want to send it back, and all I can think of is that the bigger version is only going to be more aggressive, bigger, fatter, fuller. I think there's some extra tone shaping options on there as well than there is from the smaller one. And yeah, they're an English brand. Martin Kidd is an absolutely sound character, and I would love to get that amp on the channel. And to be honest, I'd absolutely love to own that amp too. But absolutely fantastic. It does strike my, it does mess up my OCD a bit because the badge on Victory amps is never in the middle. And when you've got OCD, if any of you have got any type of OCD, you will understand that that will always bug you no matter how gorgeous the amp looks, because it does look nice in the grey toilets and everything with the gold badge, but the problem is it's not in the middle, so it will always bug me even though it looks fantastic. So yeah, I really want to get the Kraken on the channel one way or another. I don't know if I ever will. We will see, you know. You never know, I might buy one day. So the next amp that we're going to talk about is the Marshall Jubilee over there, bottom left. Absolutely fantastic amp. I cannot even explain to you guys how much I love that amp. Not played one for many years. When they first came out, my friend bought one from a nearby music store, and it was the full stack that he bought. 2 412s. Oh, the dogs are arriving. 2 412s stacked up, and that on top. And to me, what the Marshall Jubilee is like everybody was modding JCM 800s and Plexis and things like that, and to me, what the Marshall Jubilee was Marshall's own version of basically a modded Marshall. More gain, you know, you could tighten it. You could loosen it up, still have the 800 sag going on. You could tighten it right up, you could add gain. It just sounded absolutely fantastic. It sounded absolutely monstrous when it first came out. Really impressed me, and it's still a very typical Royal Marshall crunchy tone going on, but like with high gain. It has a lot more gain than people give it credit for, and for me it's the most underrated Marshall there's ever been. In fact, it's probably one of, if not my favourite Marshall ever. You know, I really love the 8100 heads, but as far as tube heads go, I think this kills the JVM and also the DSLs, you know. And it sits kind of in the middle. You've got the 800s and the Plexis, and you've got the kind of fizzy JVM and DSL thing going on over here, and you've got the Jubilee bang slap in the middle, and it sounds fantastic with a boost in front. Really love that amp. There's a smaller version of it which is probably more realistic for me to get, you know, 25 watt I think it is, or 20 watt, something like that. Still has EL34s in, but yeah, really interested in that head. Have been ever since they reissued it. I just love it, and I'd like to get hold of it to see if I still love it as much as I loved it when it first came out, because I've never owned one of those amps. Moving along here, good old EVH Stealth, the 100 watt version. I've got the EL34S100 here. Obviously I've got the 50 watt Stealth 6L6 that you can see there too, and I want the bigger brother. I want the full monster. I want to see what it's like when I put it up against the EL34S, get them both in the room. That would be a fantastic demo. I really want to do that demo quite badly actually, and it won't be long before I do actually just buy one of those. I'm an EVH artist, so obviously I can get really good deals on them, and it's worth buying. You know, that might be the next one, I don't know, but definitely want it on the channel. Really want to put it up against the 50 watt, really want to put it up against the EL34S. It's just amazing, you know. and I want to see if I like it as much as everybody else, and also as much as my other two heads. I have heard one, I have played one before, but I had nothing to compare it to, you know. I remember it sounding monstrous, but so do all the other EVHs to my ears. So moving on then over here, finally, last but not least, the Engl Savage Mark II. I'm a big fan of the Engl Savage. There's a mode on there, and I forgot what it's called again, and you press the button, I think, or do you pull out one of the knobs? I can't remember. There's a mode on there, and I think there's 4 channels. I can't remember which channel I actually used on the Mark 1, but I absolutely loved it. I've never used the Mark 2, but I just loved the growl and the mids, the chords that you could get cutting through. I'm always in search of strong, powerful mids, whether it's in a mix or whether it's in a live situation, or whether I'm just in the room on my own. I really want that sustain, and the Savage brings that, and I would absolutely love to get that on the channel, and I would love to own it too. Obviously you can use MIDI with it and everything for switching, but yeah, a fantastic head, and another Engl that I really love. Well, we're talking about Engl because obviously there is 2 Engls in here, which might shock people, as I've never had an Engl on the channel, I don't think, but I probably own more Engls than I have anything else. I think Marshall, I probably own more Marshalls than anything else. Engl's probably second, then EVH third, but never had one on the channel. When I had Engls, I didn't even have you know, a YouTube channel. But yeah, there's an Engl Retro that is one of the best Engls that I've ever played, and that's discontinued now. That's a really open, old school sounding amp. I don't know what it's based on, that Engl Retro, but a fantastic amp. If you can get hold of one of those used, get one, because they sound absolutely fantastic. Really open, and you can chuck a boost in front too, to really enhance the tone of them. So yeah, what I want you guys to do now is let me know what you think of my choice of 6 amps, but more importantly, tell me what your bucket list of amps is. Everybody's got one. I know you've got one. Let me know down there in the comments below what are the amps that you want, and more importantly, do you want to see any of these on my channel as well? It's really important that you let me know if you do. Like I say, I've been in talks with Engl. I've got a really good relationship with Marshall too. I used to be one of their official artists, I guess if you can call it that. So I could get a Jubilee at a really good price. The Engls, I'm not so sure. I was in talks, and it looked like I was getting hold of one at one point, and then something fell through. You know, we lost a bit of contact, so I might hit Engl up again and see where we stand there. So thanks very much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, comment below about these amps if you want to see them on my channel, and tell me what your 6 bucket list amps are, your top 6, top 5, whatever. See you all very soon.